Hey everyone, I'm Brooke Tallman, and today I have the opportunity to talk to Matt Larry. And he graduated from PC in 2016 and is currently going to Clemson for his MBA. So tell us about your PC experience.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, Brooke. I really appreciate the opportunity. I graduated from PC in 2016. I first found out about PC through a summer program called South Carolina Business Week, and it was there when I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Scarborough, Dr. Smith, and kind of get sort of acquainted with the business department even before I was a PC student. So I really loved the culture. I really loved the environment. It was my first time in the upstate, so it was kind of like a small town feel. Um, so I fell in love with the smallness of it, and from there it just kind of took off. Over the course of the 4 years there, I got involved with SGA. I was an RA. Did a good bit of work as well, working with the SAM Club with Dr. Smith. So overall, really good 4 years. Met a lot of great people. Still hanging out with them now, even post college. So it's been a fun time for sure.
Is there anything that's specifically like PC helped you out, or something you remember from college that you still use to this day?
Um, yes, I would say that the most valuable course that I took at PC was Dr. Smith's managerial communications and the operations management course. Reason being is since I've graduated, I've sort of been in a management role and now I've kind of moved into training and development. And just the complexity of both of those two classes combined really allowed me to sort of, I think, have like a one up whenever I was either dealing with people that I didn't know, my superiors that were like, hey, this is a fresh college kid. He's kind of articulate though. So it was, I think, those two classes were really valuable for me.
So what was your route after PC?
Yeah, so after PC, I got into the logistics industry. I never thought I would. First job, fresh out of PC, I was an operations supervisor for one of the largest carriers in the U.S. Worked with their operations and sales team for a couple years, and now I have moved over to an even larger company. One might call it Earth's most customer-centric company. So I've moved over to them and have been involved with their operations team, and now I have sort of transitioned into training new managers each week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The, like data analytics has been around for so long, but it seems like just now people are really figuring
Yeah.
out how powerful it can be
Yeah.
in the.
Yeah, so I think when I was at PC, the data analytics major wasn't offered. I think it was talked about, but it wasn't offered yet in 2016. I imagine like if that's the way that one of you or like a current business major would like to go, then there's plenty of jobs out there, especially at the company I work for regarding data analytics. Definitely that's the way we're moving as a society is just the more data that we can gather and encompass the better off that we're going to be to sort of learn patterns and behaviors for the future. So um, I don't know if you're interested in that yourself, are you?
I took one class, and I don't know if I want to just kind of be like behind a computer like that.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm sure there's lots of different things you can do with it, but it's
yeah.
a little tedious for me.
It can be. It can be. It's even tedious. Like I don't mind data for my day job every day, but like I definitely have plenty of numbers and plenty of names in front of me, and if I can basically manipulate that in any way or figure out ways to sort of make it easier for me and my coworkers to understand, definitely that would be a huge plus for us. So yeah,
Very fast moving.
yes.
Um, um, has there been a pivotal moment in your career so far?
Um, I would, yeah. So, the past 4 years, I've kind of been trying to find my way of like finding my niche, like what am I good at or where do I fall? Because like as I said, coming into logistics and management wasn't exactly the first thing I imagined myself doing right after college. But I've kind of found my way with what I like to do within the roles that I've had. So some might say that I truly have a gift for like training people and just being a good guide and having that great communication. Um, so over the past couple of years with my current company, I've had the opportunity to sort of get really good at my job, become a subject matter expert in the operations of what we do with the logistics field. But now I've sort of been able to take all those experiences and now train these new managers up in the way that, shows them what I guess good operations looks like. Um, it was I kind of when I was still working in operations when I found out our network is growing so fast. We've got all these new leaders coming on board, but yet, at the time, our company didn't really have a solid foundation for training new people that were being onboarded. It was just a moment in time where we were growing so fast that training was there, but it was only like for a week. So we oftentimes had new leaders coming into the field, and they weren't exactly knowledgeable in everything that they needed to know. So I sat down with my regional director and I was like, hey, here's an opportunity for us. I really hope that you are on the same page as me and that we can sort of move forward and starting to start training these new managers. And she was totally on board. It was back in January of 2020 where I started like traveling around to other locations and other sites to help out different shifts and different managers. And then our site here in Greenville, we actually had the opportunity to become a actual training facility for my company. So it has really allowed me to meet a lot of people, open a lot of doors, work on a lot of projects to really shape the content of what we're teaching new managers. And so now it's just kind of like I'm working in a program management role, but also still teaching and training. So I think definitely just working these past few years to actually find my niche and just find out what I like doing has definitely kind of pivoted my career into where we're going now. So yeah,
That's awesome.
good question. Good question.
Like what do you think your company looks for in employees, or like what attribute do you think stands out the most?
I think what stands out the most to us because we are so like ever evolving, so many changes, so many change announcements happen. I think just in the past quarter alone, we've had over 150 changes in process just because we are growing so fast and constantly figuring out, okay, this doesn't work, this does work. So in my opinion, one of the greatest things that a leader coming in on board with my company could do uh, is just learn and be curious. That's one of our leadership principles. Um, but learning to be curious and just having that continuing sort of I guess yearn to just want to learn more and more and more about a process and just keep improving on what you're doing. That really is what drives our network, and it's really what drives us as a team. Um, there's many times when we are working in our process role since our what we do is still relatively new to our company. um, since what we're doing is relatively new, we are constantly sort of having team meetings. We're constantly working with each other about different processes on different shifts and just coming to a conclusion about like, hey, this is what's happening here. This is happening here. How can we sort of bridge the gap between those two things? And definitely it requires us to be team oriented, but also just having that mentality that yes, things are going to change, and we need to keep learning and keep improving for a better tomorrow. So I definitely think being curious is a good one.
Noted.
Yeah.
Um, what's your end goal? Like, do you see yourself
Oh, that's a
moving up in your
question.
moving up in the company that
Yeah.
you're with right now, or?
Yeah, there is so much opportunity happening with us right now. We are quickly and fastly trying to approach delivering the majority of what we actually sell and actually sell on the website. So we are ever we have a fast-growing list of positions opening, just because we need those who have been working in operations to sort of start managing these programs and creating things for a better future. So in the near future, I can see myself definitely being on our program management team that's actually coordinating all of our training activities, and then beyond that, maybe something a part of the actual team that sort of rolls out onboarding and just bringing in new leaders and creating that sort of excitement and sort of just getting everybody off on a good foot to know what they make sure that they know what leading in a good manner looks like. So. Um, I definitely see myself working with my current company for a little bit longer.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Pretty comforting.
yeah.
Um, you have anything to say? What's another good question? Um,
So let's see. There's a question here. It's, did I have any advice for any PC students who are about to graduate? I thought that was a great question, mainly because I really want you guys to think about being flexible when it comes to your near and distant future right after you graduate. Right after you graduate, it's an opportunity for you to sort of start exploring new opportunities. Um, doing something you never thought you'd be doing. Like for me, example, like as I said, I've never thought I'd be working with logistics and moving boxes every day. But I've found somewhat I found joy in that because it's the people I'm working with, the industry I'm working in, and just being able to find what I'm good at within what I'm doing currently in that industry. So just be flexible, be open to new opportunities. Don't pounce on the first thing that you may get offered, but like make sure you have a good, well-rounded bubble of some things to consider.
mhm.
And then also just consider furthering your education. Bachelor's degrees are becoming so common these days. It's oftentimes a good thing to go and set yourself apart even some more. If continuing to further your education is always a good thing as well. So just the bits of advice is be flexible and continue your education.
All right, there's one last question. I saw
All
this on
right.
another interview. I thought it was funny. So
Okay.
Springs or GDH?
Oh, okay. Well, at the time when I was at PC, there was no Starbucks, there was no Moe's. What else do you guys have now?
Boar's Head. It's like sandwiches and
There
stuff.
was no Boar's Head, so definitely if I was there currently, I would say Springs.
Mhm,
At the time, I would say back when I was there, I would say GDH, mainly because it was the only way that I could get like a wholesome meal and not feel bloated or feel like I just need to like go work out after eating a sub or one of those chicken tender baskets from Springs. So it honestly depends on the time period if you're there currently or if you were there in the past. But
mhm.
if it was 2020 and I was a PC student, I'd definitely be at Springs.
They actually just changed. You've probably seen it on the Instagram or something, but where the gym was in Springs now is just a bunch of
I
seating and stuff.
Yeah, that is absolutely wild. You guys have got it made. It's pretty nice.
It's pretty
That
awesome.
is pretty nice. Yeah.
That's
Definitely maybe would have made some good improvements there versus after college life. So, but you guys definitely should be enjoying that, hopefully.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us
Awesome.
today.
No problem. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you the best in your finishing your PC career. And let me know if you need anything in the future. All right.
Thank you. Same to
All
you.
right. See ya.